Johnny Cash Folsom Prison album where he says we're recording live, so you can't say.
No, here. Yeah, you're right. Live microphone there.
So I always like to the first thing, move it in between. Do what?
You still have been living to the point where I couldn't been doing a lot of driving.
Oh, that's easy.
Shifted from monsters to coffee about halfway. Because I thought I shouldn't be drinking all this monster.
You know, I drink it.
Yeah. Gosh, I had one of those though, and it was
There we go. Good thing I didn't get history. All rise, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we just thank you we can come here tonight and do the business of the city of Newcastle. We thank you for the blessings you've given us, and we ask you to watch over our people, and we ask you also, Lord, to protect them and to be with those who are mourning. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Let's have a roll call.
All right, good evening, everybody. Happy June, Mike Guppy. Jeff Hancock. Jerry Walton.
Present.
Aaron Dickens.
here.
Mark Coker.
Here.
Lynn Purdue.
Here.
Rex Peckinpah.
Here. Okay, do we have any action on the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, moved to approve the minutes.
Second.
And seconded. Let's take a roll call vote, please.
Mike Guppy.
Aye.
Jerry Walton.
Abstain.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Coker.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Abstain. Okay, that brings us to the agenda. Do we have any additions to the agenda or anything other than the people that are going to make comments? I don't think so, so we'll move on from that. We'll come to the time with public comments and special presentations. Jason, would you like to come forward?
I'm going to introduce him if that's all right.
Well, I guess it's all right.
Okay. It'll be brief. I handed those out at the last meeting.
Thank you.
So this is a follow-up to what I talked about at your most recent meeting. This has to do with some proposed changes out at Northfield Park, moving from some quads to townhomes. And it is in an existing tax increment finance area, and council wanted to see some numbers, and so I asked Baker Tilly to put together the impact, and I've got Jason Simler here to go through that with you. I sent it to you via email on Friday. If you want a printed copy, we have printed copies as well. And then my goal is to come back at your next meeting with a proposed ordinance for you all to introduce it, and then action at your first meeting in July. So that's a revised timetable, subject to your agreement. Thank you.
Jason? Thank you. Jason Simler with Baker Tilly, and I'll go ahead and hand out the schedules that Corey had emailed out, just so you have it. But I thought it might be helpful, before I go through the schedules, just kind of give a little history lesson on kind of how we got to where we're at today. Some of you were here at the time, some of you weren't, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of history of the TIF areas and the bonds that are outstanding. In 2004, first created the Northwest Economic Development Area, based upon the land that Jess Smiley owned at the time. It's kind of where the YMCA is right now. His thought, at the time was to build some commercial development up front and residential in the back. So the first phase was that commercial, those offices that you see right now, right out in front of 3 and around the YMCA. Bonds back in 2004, 2006, and 2009 to pay for a lot of that first phase, the infrastructure and roads. Those bonds were payable from the TIF generated, so all the new development, all those offices that Jeff Smiley built out there. And Jeff also guaranteed those bonds. So if for some reason the TIF didn't come in as anticipated and there was a shortfall, Jeff was on the hook for that. But fortunately, that never occurred. The TIF came in not quite as anticipated. Things didn't build out as quickly or as much as what you'd hope, but there was always enough TIF to cover the bonds, and we paid those bonds off early. Phase came along as far as trying to build residential homes out there. So in 2020, we carved out some of those parcels and created a residential TIF. And then in 2022, founded some developers that were willing to build houses out there, and we issued more bonds to pay for the second phase public infrastructure, the roads, sidewalks, lights out there. Funds are payable from the commercial TIF, the TIF up front, and then also any TIF generated from the residents, the quads, and the homes that are currently being built. As you know, there's a lot of risk in building anything, but especially residential homes. So we required the developer to purchase those bonds. So there is no risk on the Redevelopment Commission. There's no risk of the city. If the TIF doesn't come in as anticipated, the developer doesn't get paid. However, we never anticipated all of the commercial TIF to cover all of the bond payment. We wanted that commercial TIF, the original TIF area, to have some surplus to be able to pay for other capital projects out and benefiting that area. But as you probably know, out there the houses haven't built as quickly as we thought. The quads haven't been built as quickly as we thought. So that's why the developers come back and said, based upon demand, they'd like to change some of those quads to townhomes to increase the demand, increase the TIF, and be able to have enough TIF to cover the bond payments. Because right now, based upon what's out there right now, there's not enough TIF being generated to make those bond payments. Again, that's not a worry on the city or the Redevelopment Commission because the developer bought the bonds with that risk. However, what is detrimental to the city and the Redevelopment Commission is we're using 100% of that commercial TIF up front to make as much of the bond payment as we can, which the original intent was that the residential TIF would be able to support itself. So that's what the developer is kind of coming in and is asking if we can change the original, scan, original project to include townhomes because of the demand that he sees out there. So what I have in front of you is just the difference between building the quads or the residential development compared to the property taxes that could be generated if they built townhomes. So the top part of the schedule is just based upon kind of the current plan if we build quads. It has the assessed value. It has, as you know, as being homeowners, they get the same kind of deductions and exemptions that you do. So they get standard deductions, and then they also get an additional supplemental deduction. And that's one reason why some of the development, not only has it not happened as quickly as we thought, but also the law has changed from what it did back in 2022. And now we're getting additional deductions and exemptions, which is great for homeowners because we're paying less property taxes, assuming your assessment stays the same. But for TIF, it's reducing the amount of TIF that we're collecting, even on the houses that are being built. So you can see in 2029, if there were 4 quads being built, for 2027, assessed 28 penny to 29, they'd generate about $43,000 of taxes. 12 units would generate about $87,000. In 2031, it'd be about $130,000 of additional TIF that we would anticipate seeing. Down to the proposed townhomes, not only do they think they can, prepare townhomes, but within that structure, they can actually build more, have 63 units. So you can kind of see the number of assessments, plus with townhomes, The difference between townhomes is they're capped at 2% versus the cap at 1%. So again, townhomes pay a little bit more property taxes than homeowners do. That goes into the calculation of people who buy townhomes, but that does mean more TIF for us. Plus that there's less deductions for townhomes than there are for residential. So that's why you can kind of see homes during that same period. In 2029, you're looking at collecting $80,000 versus 43, which is about $36,000 more. In 2030, we're collecting about $160,000, about $72,000 more. And then at full build out, you're looking at collecting on average about $240,000 a year compared to $130,000, almost $110,000 more a year in TIF. It's the developer, because one, if we do this, or if the city does this and allows the ordinance to be passed, it allows us to capture these townhomes, which would then give us enough TIF to make the bond payments, which is good for the developer, but it's also good for the city because it frees up that commercial TIF that we're now using to pay those bonds. It frees up that commercial TIF for you to actually use it for projects that you want to fund.
Only through that northwest tip dip.
Yeah, capital projects that are in serving or benefiting the area. So yeah, it has to benefit that area, but in serving or benefiting, the attorneys can be pretty creative, and that could be a lot of different things.
Thanks, Jay.
Court, you went and looked at some townhouses over in Indianapolis.
It's a different project.
It's a different?
Yep.
Okay, so this is not related?
Nope, totally different project.
Okay, so not the same developer or
No.
anything?
I'd be happy to answer any other questions that council has.
At this point in time, we really don't have any housing to compete with Jamestown. And this would be, Jamestown to us is nice and pretty new, but in all reality, it's closer to 40 years old than it is new. So this takes that TIF area, takes that area behind the Y and makes it a trifecta, housing, condos, and apartments. So I've liked this all along because it makes it more valuable to the people that can't afford to buy a home, so that they could afford to rent an apartment.
And I mentioned this, kind of a side note, but Corey, I was at the City Redevelopment Commission last week, and he submitted a report, he may have done the council too, of the largest employers within the city. And, you know, Boar's Head being one and TS Tech being up there. And that's great that you have diverse employers. But what's probably more important is you have those employers living in Henry County. And even more important now with the new lit structure is that you have them living in Newcastle. So as we've talked about, and you guys have been very proactive, you know, getting homes within the county and the city, just like every other county in Indiana, anything that you can do to encourage people living in your city is even more important than it ever has been with the new lit legislation with Senate Bill 1, where, you know, the dollars are going to follow where they live, even to not just the county, but into the city potentially. So anything you can do to help people live here, I encourage you to do.
Mr. Mayor, Jamestown, do they have a waiting list?
Do not know that.
I know in the past, they've been having a waiting list out there.
I'm not sure.
Do we know, Corey?
Don't know.
Rental-wise, how it's going to compare? Probably not.
I do not know.
I think it's a good question to ask.
I'm going to try to have the developer here, either your next meeting or the first meeting in July. That way you have an opportunity to ask them directly before you vote on it.
Are we looking at a particular start date yet? Or
They are already working on plans in preparation to start construction yet this year.
I know they're waiting on our part. but-
They also have to go through some zoning
Yeah.
adjustments as well.
So is this developer the same as what's developed in that whole area right now?
Yes.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason, appreciate it. Okay, Mary, would you like to come up and talk? Sure.
Hello, my name is Mary Nicholson Tate. For those who don't know, I am the president of the Lightkeepers of Henry County. And what I am here to talk about is our Juneteenth celebration on June 20th of this year. It will be taking place downtown. We are going to be within the plaza and the Arts Pavilion. We just confirmed this year we will be having WWE style wrestling. That will be at the plaza. There will be a group out of Muncie that will be doing that, so that's will be interesting. That will be of that evening. We will also have a couple of speakers that are coming. We will have our Angel Awards. We will have a Black Authors area as well, where we will have local Black authors that will be there to sell books and things of that nature. We will have local musicians there as well, our community Juneteenth choir, and it will be from 2 p.m. that day on the 20th to 9 p.m. that evening. We will also be having on Juneteenth, which is the 19th of June, for all of those who are asking, not the 15th or anything like that, at our building, which is called the Lighthouse, which is 2600 C Avenue, the old Westminster building. We will be having Alice's Ordinary People. If you have not seen that documentary, it is fantastic. But we will be doing that on Juneteenth, which is that Friday night at 7 p.m. So those are things that we're doing. We will be starting too, since I've got a mouthful to say, tomorrow at the Lighthouse, we are starting what is the TLC program. It's the Hangout Hub. It is a free program for kids on Tuesday. We are focusing on middle school and high school students, but between you and everybody in here, keep it to yourself. We will be making sure that if somebody comes, if a child comes and they are hungry, they will be fed. And I don't care how old they are. But kids that are 10 and under will need to have an adult with them for the duration of the time they're 10 and over. But we are going to have programming available for 2 hours. They will be fed a meal. And there will be open gym and play and things like that, and we'll go to the park, and that will be on Tuesdays. We'll have different activities and things like that every Tuesdays for 10 weeks. This program is also at the high school during the year. They have a TLC program during the year. So we wanted to make sure that there was a safe space for kids in the summertime, and we are starting it on Tuesdays. And if you're asking for how much it's going to cost, it's not going to cost anything. But if you know of any local businesses that would like to feed some children every Tuesday and would like to donate or sponsor our meal for the kids, that would be great. So just let me know. Does anybody have any questions about all of that I just blathered out? Any questions?
How many kids are you expecting?
We don't know. I'll have a better idea of how many that we're going to expect during the 10 weeks after tomorrow. I am planning for 2 to 50. So, and we have enough. Thank goodness for Papa John's. They donated our first meal. So they're donating pizzas for tomorrow. We have our cups and things of that nature. So again, cups, plates, all of those things, those are the types of things we're going to need. Sunscreen, all of those things. We've got some to start out with, but 10 weeks is a long time, and depending on the amount of kids we have, we could always use extra. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If you've got something that we'd be willing to take it. So that's what we're going to do. But we're trying to provide a safe place in the community, especially in that particular neighborhood for our children. And, as childcare gets more expensive, and it's not that we're a childcare program, we're just trying to make sure that kids have a safe place to go. And we want the parents to also know that we're the good kind of crazy, not the bad kind of crazy, and would love to spend the afternoon with your kids on a Tuesday.
What 2 hours is that?
It's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Tuesdays for the next 10 weeks, and we start tomorrow. So, and it's called the Hangout Hub. So, and again, Juneteenth, don't forget about that on the 20th. And also, if you take anything away from this meeting, it is that Juneteenth is not on June 15th. Okay? All right, thank you, that's all I had to say.
Thank you, Mary. Good stuff.
Brenda, did you want to talk? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine, you're fine. For all you don't know, I'm Jeff Cross. I'm with the Broad Street Cruise In, and I'm here with board member Brenda Grider and my wife Cindy Cross. As you know, Broad Street Cruise In's grown. I've been doing it for over 12 years, and it continues to grow, and it's a great thing for our community, our city. I want it to continue to be a family-friendly, oriented place that families come up and enjoy, walk up and down Broad, see all the cars, and just see all the hustle downtown. And we always encourage businesses to be open, because we've been drawing a lot of people, especially on good fair weather days. So our big challenge for the last couple of seasons is at times we have a few people, most of the time it's from out-of-towners. You know, they think they're going to come up here and smoke the tires and drive erratically, and that's the least of the thing that I want, because all it's going to take is one incident and then we're done. Yep. So we have been focused on safety, and in order to do that, we've tried to get the best we can, the police chief involved. We've had discussions at the end of the year with him, and we came up to the conclusion of having 3 or 4 officers up there staged at his discretion, off duty, that we hire to better encourage people not to be doing those kinds of things. That's what we've been doing. So we have, for the last 3 months, have been paying $800 for those additional officers to be up there. And we have, and that's been really successful. I mean, the last 2 or 3 cruises, we've had very minor incidents, failed register, which is any one of us can get pulled over for that at any time if we don't do our duty to register our vehicles. But we're here to seek any assistance that may be available to provide extended security for our events. We have June through October left. July and August, if the weather is going to be good, it's going to be big crowds, and that's our Veterans Cruise In and our Kids Night. So we want to make sure that we host. It's the largest monthly event that the city has, and we want it to continue, and we want it to be something that we are all proud of. And I'll let Brenda talk, because we've applied for assistance, and I'll let her go into that a little bit.
So we did a letter of intent to apply for the Henry County Community Grant for the spring. We were accepted to apply. Unfortunately, we did not get anything. We did have, that's why we didn't come earlier on, because we did have security in there and try to get grant money to cover that, so we wouldn't have to come here and ask, because we're on, we just go by sponsorship only. That's what we get. So I've dealt with Matt a lot, and Matt can kind of speak a little bit on what's been going on. We used to have 2 officers, but they learned early on, if one's down there, then they go and they do their burnouts up there. They can't, 2 officers can't cover the whole thing. So last year we started with 4, I think, and you guys gave money for us. Last year. How much
did we give you last year?
We appreciate it.
$2,000 last year is what we got last year. We still have $4,000 to finish out the year with 4 officers. And but I'll let Matt speak just a little bit on, the people that you stopped, and a lot of them aren't even from Newcastle. They're people that come from out of town.
Well, what kind of financial shortfall do you think you're going to have this year?
A lot. We're down on.
Struggling.
Yeah, everyone's struggling. We get it. We're down on sponsors. The bikes, we're trying to get money for the bikes, and people just don't have it anymore. But just like he said, our first and main concern is safety and security. That's our first and main concern. Because like he said, all it's going to take, and I mean, I went toe-to-toe with people up there over ag and cruising, or ag and burnouts on, and I told a guy one day, I said, you know what? Your kid is right here. What happens if you ag that person on and they lose control and they run over your kid and kill your kid? How are you gonna feel then? And he didn't have anything to say. I mean, I know everybody wants it to be cool and they, you know, they want a hot rod, but you can't do it when you got 2,000 or 3,000 people downtown. You just can't do it.
And we're not gonna tolerate it.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah.
end of story.
Yeah, if it gets, you know, and that's the thing, if we don't get help here, we're gonna have to cut back on officers and, I don't, you know.
We don't know really what the answer is. We don't know.
We don't
to go
have an
back to-
answer.
Go back to 3, go back to 2. I mean, 3 or 4 seems to be the where we need to be.
Well, what's the feel, I'd like to see us support this. I mean, I think it's a big event for the community. It's directly tied to the city. I mean, it's, you know, it's right downtown. So what's everybody feel about this?
Oh, yeah.
So do you have a number in mind?
Yeah.
It's 4,000 to finish out the year for 4 officers, all the rest of the nights.
I make a motion that we give 4,000 out of Riverboat to Cruise In.
Second. Any discussion from anybody?
You sure it's enough?
I think,
Yes, yeah,
Well, if
that's
something
absolutely.
happens, come back and.
Yeah, that's
talk about it.
absolutely enough. I think Matt and I, that's the number we came up with to finish out the rest of the year, so.
If this is just going to our officers, right?
yes.
Yes,
I
yeah,
mean,
we
is
use
this-
city officers.
Is this the equivalent of like overtime?
No, they get,
Just off-duty pay.
We've got that ordinance for operating below,
Yeah.
below the equivalent of that hourly rate, but I've got 6 or 7 officers that are committed to working it, so we can
they don't
get
charge us
3
as
or
much.
4
Yeah.
that are just dedicated to that downtown area during those times.
Okay, I won't make a 6 or 7 reference, but are we able to like fund this security directly through Lowit? And the only reason I'm asking that is because, like I said, I mean, I know what our financial situation is. I mean, generally speaking.
Would it cost us more to fund it through Lowit, because then we would have to actually pay an overtime rate?
You probably would. I mean, if
Probably
your question
cheaper.
is just have officers work overtime and be assigned specifically to that,
Yeah,
then, yeah, I mean,
and it would be
It's gonna
more,
cost me.
yeah.
probably would, right,
Right.
to be
Well-
required to be paid overtime rates
Okay, worth
for
asking.
contributions.
It's a good thought, though. Okay, well, let's take a vote.
Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Over.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Spector.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank
We
you, we
appreciate it very much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Okay.
for all you guys do.
Yeah, appreciate it. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to come forward and speak that didn't know about? Please, come on up. Oh, well, you'll be up next. Thank you.
Pastor Kevin Kidwell, EK Ministries, 915 South 17th, Newcastle, Indiana. We're giving you a 6-month update of what's going on in the community. I know a lot of people don't get out, a lot of people don't know what's actually happening, so we've been keeping you guys up to date. We have been having a program beginning on 6 months ago, what was called Taking You to the Streets Ministry. We have completed about 50 properties. People that are still in their properties, some of them are empty lots, all this stuff, but we are not asking for funds on this. All we're asking is just come on out, come see us, and thank us. Right now, we're now getting ready to have another 30 more properties here in the next 2 months. But we have to get the approval by the mayor, because some of those properties we talked about 6 months ago were owned by other people that are not in town. So we need to know what we can do, just go ahead and just knock those properties out, and maybe write a letter to these people, say, hey, it's been done, but next time, this is what you owe us. All right, but we do not receive that money will come back into here. Now, the actual update that I have from the homelessness all the way to the veterans to another program that we're dealing with people that have, who are thieves, who have abused, who have been doing a lot of things against the law enforcement or against people in general. That percentage that we came up with through the police department and sheriff's department is 24% and climbing due to no communication, no counseling service, no outreach to these people. The biggest one that hits us, and I brought this up before, the homeless program, the homeless that are out there, it raised up to 54% in the last six months. This is from out in the woods, out by the railroad tracks, actually out by in one of the trains that we found one of those people in, and keeping it up. So altogether, they came up to 14% of the last 6 months. Here's the one that hits us the most. These people, your friends, your associates, these people that you know, we've been trying to reach out to the families of these people that have passed away, such as their sons, their daughters, people in general. Same thing again, that's at 54% and climbing. We checked with hospitals, we checked with people out in the open, and we've been trying to keep them in prayer. Try to see what kind of support, what we can do for them. So far we've been bringing that up. And the biggest thing is, here with EK Ministry, now we're at the point of asking for help. And not just financial, it could be just a few moments of your time to helping out another person. And what I mean by that is there's been a lot of people from, we just had a lady, one of the officers ended up taking her to a place and getting her help, but she was laying in the middle of the walkway. And we watched her pass out, but she had all the stuff from Dollar General shoved down in her shirt. But finding out she was a klepto, she's been doing it for a while. But nobody's there to help uplift her. Nobody's there to help give her a job or help her get help. And what we're trying to do is trying to get more people involved. On top of it, the last thing is, and I'm sorry you guys, I've tried calling you guys to come out, is what we have is every 6 months to a year is we have the people on the panel or people that are higher up to come on out and come out to a house party. Meet the people, talk to the people. I spent over $762 on barbecue ribs that day. Nobody showed. My dogs were happy, but all it was just a meet and greet. We wanted you all to come out and to be a part of, to see what's really going on in the city. So our biggest thing is what we just ask you, if you would like to donate, see me afterwards, and the money goes into helping those, not helping us, helping those people. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Okay, please. Could you tell us your name, please?
Yes, Nathan Randolph. I live off of 1220 M Avenue. I'm here today to talk about a city ordinance. I've found that you guys are not in compliance with the Indiana codes. Indiana implements an ordinance, 90.25. This allows the private organization Henry County Humane Society to enforce a pet licensing program. By definition, a license is a permission to engage in conduct that would otherwise be unlawful. During what point in time did caring for animals become an unlawful act to where a governing body needs to regulate or prohibit the underlying activity? In 2006, Indiana abolished the dog tax and implemented the county option dog tax as an option found under Indiana Code 6-9-39. However, Henry County never implemented this option nor created an ordinance within the given time frame to enact a licensing program, but as many painfully know, that the municipality, Newcastle of Indiana, has had an ordinance in place since 1982 that is still being enforced still after 2006. Is this municipality, Newcastle of Indiana, in compliance with the state laws while using police powers to unlawfully enforce an ordinance without having the authority to enforce? Taking a look at Indiana Code 6-9-39-9, it states, limitations of powers of counties and municipalities, dog licensing licensing fees, legalizing of ordinance, and then you look at A, Section B, after July 1st, 2006, a county or municipality of the county may not adopt an ordinance implementing a licensing system for dogs unless the county option dog tax under this chapter is in effect in the county. I have been told by the city attorney that the city's licensing program was well existing before 2006. Well, let's look at subsection B. Subsection B1 states a county adopted an ordinance implementing a license system for dogs after December 31st of 2006 and before February 1st, 2007. The ordinance is legal. And then you look at B2. The county did not adopt the county option dog tax, then the ordinance is legalized. From my understanding, from what the city attorney has told me, is that since their ordinance was in 1982, that it is valid and they're allowed to be able to implement this ordinance. But when you look at B, it states county. It does not say municipality. It does not say municipality. The municipality is not a county. Therefore, the only way the municipality can implement a licensing program is when Henry County decides to put in effect the county option dog tax. And I actually have done a public records request, and I asked the city attorney to please provide the county option dog tax in Henry County, where they are implementing the county option dog tax for them to be able to do the licensing program. Madam, as worded, no responsive records to your request have been located. Therefore, not having a county option dog tax, the city does not have the authority to implement the licensing program as they are enforcing for the past 20 years. January 20th, 2006, Ms. Burkhan requested $10,000 for Humane Society operations and requests to raise fees, which the ordinance number is 3974. It came in effect where they raised the fees to for an unneutered male and unspayed female dog and cat is $45, and for a neutered male or a spayed female dog or cat, it's $20. Why does it cost more for a non-spayed neutered animal versus a spayed neutered animal? When an organization no longer is charging for the administrative costs to create said license, then it no longer is a fee, but it is a tax. Also, it states in the ordinance that the fees for obtaining pet licensing should be increased to help offset the increased costs of operating the animal shelter, providing animal control services. This clearly states that this is a tax, not a fee, to implement a licensing program, but it is an unauthorized tax meant to generate revenue without statutory authority. Although a municipality may regulate animals and support animal control, Indiana Home Rule expressly withholds the power to impose a tax without statutory authority and withholds the power to impose a license fee greater than reasonably related to the administrative cost of the regulation. And I also have looked up, if you guys want to get a hold, I'm not saying there's not a bad thing to have a dog tax or a licensing fee. I'm just asking for you guys to follow the laws like you guys are enforcing upon us. And also, there's a form here that I got off option dog tax. They fill out the animal that they have, and it literally states 20% of the taxes go to canine research, and then 80% of the remaining will go to the support for animal care facilities. So if you guys actually got a hold of the county, then you would be able to funds for the animal shelter. The 2025 NED annual report. The county, the animal shelter is getting a lot of cash from government organizations already. So I'm not sure why this has been going on so long and no one has brought this to anybody's attention, but that's what I have for you guys.
Appreciate it. And basically, we'll have Mr. Harvey look into it since he's our attorney and deals with the law. Definitely appreciate it.
Okay.
So I'm not a pet owner. So to kind of clear this up in simple terms, if you own a pet or you acquire a pet, you have to register it with the Humane Society and pay a tax to have that pet?
Fee, but that's questionable because, like I said, why is the non-spayed and non-neutered animals cost more than a regular one that is spayed? So you're generating money off of a non-spayed, non-neutered animal. So it's not a fee; it's a tax at the end of the day. But
how is that even enforced? If I acquire a pet and I don't go down and have it registered, who knows?
It's running loose and it gets picked up.
That's when they enforce the tax on you more than anything.
Yeah, they're not gonna come knocking.
Well, I was going down.
Or unless somebody complains.
Dogs barking at your neighbor, I mean, hypothetically speaking, I don't know if that's actually happened.
But there's plenty of people that dogs barking, they get animal control called on them, and then they're enforced to do this licensing program when the city hasn't even implemented, or they don't have the authority to do so because the county option dog tax isn't in effect. It literally states it in the Indiana code that they have to have the county option dog tax implemented before using the licensing
For
program.
clarification purposes, we've been through this exact same issue several times in city court, and I respectfully disagree with Mr. Randolph.
Well, we'll look into it, and maybe you can look
We've
into
been
it
through
deeper.
this 3 or 4 times.
But right now, tonight, we're probably not going to come to some decision.
Well, I'm not trying to, I just bring
I
it to your...
appreciate you coming, I appreciate, you're very articulate. And
bringing it to your attention because the judge looked to the city attorney and was like, do you want to explain this to him? But I can clearly read, I've been to college, I've done graduate, I've got my associate's degree.
We don't want
I know,
to do
I'm sorry, can I please say something? You keep, every time I try to talk, you always interrupt me, even during court, you do. But I have a certain amount of time, just please let me. So anybody can read this. It literally states it in the Indiana code. I just read it off. He has a copy of it. It literally states that you have to have the county option dog tax to implement it. You can't grandfather it in. Only the county can grandfather it in. They didn't make the ordinance. The city made the ordinance. So 2006, they abolished it. It's gone. If this county wanted to create an ordinance between the time frame before they adopted the county option dog tax, they were able to. They did not do that.
Okay. And we'll look into it. I
That's
appreciate you coming up and.
Yeah,
And
I'm telling everybody because I don't understand why you guys, we're supposed to be good citizens, we're supposed to be good people, we're supposed to follow the law, but the city's not doing it.
You seem like you're trying to do your part. Appreciate it.
I live here, so I mean, I better.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
You got anything to say, Joe?
No, it's just, it says after 2006 you can't adopt. The city clearly adopted one before 2006. As we know, if the General Assembly wanted to void existing ordinances, it would have said so. It's done that in ordinances we've read. I think it's clear as day. I've been doing this for coming on a quarter century, so I'm pretty confident in my answer.
Okay. Is there anybody else who'd like to come forward today?
Hello. My name is Caden Smeckens. A little bit underprepared, I feel, but I'll make this short and sweet, really. Compared to what we've heard, I think it's a minor issue, but there's a lot of people that have been, bringing it to attention. And it's about pickleball. So, first and foremost, I want to say the courts that we built and the things we're doing to the park is awesome. Everybody loves them. We want to, keep them nice, keep them going, keep the action happening out there. But the big issue now is, there's been a group for the last 2 or 3 years that I'm, have a lot of involvement in. There's a core group that have been playing a bunch. And it's the people that I feel we really want out there. Like the people that care, a little bit older, take care of things, respect the courts, respect, the city in general. But now it's kind of a bunch of kids. High schoolers take over to where, we can't really play anymore. And that's a big problem that what a lot of guys have been bringing up, and a lot of them are a lot more frustrated with it than me. But since this year, it really didn't happen last year at all, but there's been a lot of times we go out there that there's just so many kids. I'm afraid it's turning into more of like a hangout, chill spot rather than it is like to play pickleball and to respect the sport, whatever. I know it's pretty small, but it's growing. It's getting bigger. And it's just, I don't think they really respect the park, the facility. There's always a bunch of trash. There's always a bunch of spilled stuff, That's all beside the point. It's great that they're out there. It's great that they're getting involved. The only thing I would really like to ask, and what we've talked about with a bunch of people, would be one day kind of set aside for a team reach group. It's like a league, it's probably 20, 30 people have been playing in it. And I feel like it's the core group that makes up our pickleball community to have one night that's kind of designated for this group, and maybe 3 hours is what I was thinking, but it's just to the point where there's so many kids out there, they're hanging out, they're just chilling, they're hanging on the nets, or, doing whatever, and then we have to leave because there's 25, 30 people out there just, messing around. I don't even think they're necessarily playing. They're just kind of there to hang out, someplace to go, something to do, which, like I said, I get. And it's good that they're getting involved, but.
So it's not police like the basketball courts, like, hey, I got next.
Well, there's a pickleball etiquette.
Yeah, I mean, no.
In basketball, you got the winners.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the way it's always been. So we've got not very good at it, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
We've got a plan already in place that we're gonna have somebody come in and is gonna talk to us about pickleball education. Mike, you wanna get a little bit more elaborate with it than what I know?
We are having a pickleball extravaganza on July 11th, which is going to be harness the energy of pickleball within Henry County. That is a public court.
Right.
Anybody who could go play. Our coder brought up a great point. Basketball courts have been at Baker Park for 100 years, and the next 5 are up. Win, lose, or draw. You got next. The people that I've talked to that say they can't get out and play, drive right by because they think there's too many kids there, they can show up and say they've got next. There's etiquette that those kids understand. They're not stupid or don't know that other people can play. The other night, matter of fact, Saturday night, every one of those kids had a paddle in their hand. They weren't there congregating and doing nothing. Yes, there's a lot of them, so it looks a little bit of organized chaos, but every one of them had a pickleball paddle and everybody was playing. If you choose to play at 10:30 on Saturday night, then go show up, I guess, and ask for the next game.
Right, okay.
I mean, I'm not arguing with you.
Well, it's just like there's.
I've talked to a number of different people, and they drive by and they say, we're not gonna go play because there's kids there. It's a public court. I've talked to a lot of other superintendents and a lot of other pickleball players. We don't have reserve times, because if I reserve times for your 30 people who want to play, I have to reserve time for 40 other people who want to play. I mean, again, I'm not arguing the fact. I know a lot of you guys. I know a lot of people that play during the day that are a part of that. There probably is a lot of frustration with those courts being full. We only have 4 courts in the whole community.
We have 7.
Understandable.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that was my thing, because there's like older people that, are part of the community that respect the courts, that they're not going to beat those kids. They're not going to be able to play against them. So it's just like, I feel like it's pretty common to have one night, 3 hours of a league on the team reach, just for those people, the people that have been a core, they've been involved with it for years now, but they're getting put out. They're the ones that are going to be taking care of it and cleaning up. And, my girlfriend did that tonight while we went there, was picking up a bunch of trash. And it's like the 60-plus, 70-year-old ladies that come and play, they're not leaving trash. They're taking care of the place. You know, it's definitely when you get groups of young high schoolers, and I was probably the same way, you know, when I was 15, 16. I'm not hating on them, you know, but it is what it is, you know. I don't think that they really understand the respect of facilities, you know, and it's like, I'm afraid that it's going to get tore up. We're going to see more trash, more junk. The nets, there's a couple times I've seen them sitting on the nets and stuff. You know, I'm definitely afraid that it's going to be kind of tore up. And I don't really know that all these kids necessarily love the game of pickleball like the core 20 that have been playing for a few years really do. You know, I'm never leaving this city. This is my home. I want to play pickleball till I'm 60. You know, like, honestly, it's...
Let me tell you what happened to this.
I'm just saying.
I would almost draw a comparison between the pickleball courts and the action park to a degree. Because at one time, the action park maybe didn't have as good a reputation, but then the Pointer Brothers got out there and they really did I think they've done a good job of trying to educate the kids over there and the people over there. And it's made a big difference. I mean, you know, you go by there, people are using it, and they're doing, you know, I've heard very few complaints from there.
I agree.
And I think it's the same way over here. There's going to be education take place, and I think Mr. Bergen's got a plan for some of that. And some of you guys that are adults, you know, you can help get these kids squared away to where, you know, they're productive.
Yeah, I'm playing
people and pickleball players, but you know.
And we're financially trying to look into more pickleball courts. I mean,
that would be awesome.
That's definitely on the horizon, our wish list also, so.
I think we'll get there, and I think that, you know, there's been some buy-in from that older community, maybe not 60, I won't throw a number.
Hey, I play with some 60-year-olds.
That buy-in, I think the next organic step is to reach down and say, hey, here's how, you know, we do it. And
here's how it's done.
Get next, and then if that doesn't work, I mean, just let them know.
Pick up your trash. It's okay
Yeah, I
to do
mean,
that.
little things like that make a
It's
difference.
okay to do that.
Don't sit on the net.
Say, hey, let's respect the
Yeah,
rules.
just tell them.
Okay.
Good to see you out here, but let's not.
I'm a 60-year-old plus.
Well, get out there.
You know why I didn't? Don't. Drive by and I see there's too many people there. I can't compete with that, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Do they use the old courts?
Nah, well, some people do. We do when there's 50 kids out
That's where I
there.
wanna start out because it's hidden in a place.
Yeah, nobody can see you.
Is there still any communication with the high school about the old?
Five Black
tennis
pickleball? Probably the guy Bergen was talking about, Rodriguez. Is that who you were talking about? July 11th or June 11th? July 11th, yeah. He's an
Encourage
awesome
everybody
guy.
that you know to come out to that.
And play.
We would love a great turnout for that.
I mean, I
Okay.
could be mentored.
Volleyball, Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, yes, I understand the frustration, I understand, but what we have there
He's a
is
legend, like
a community facility that is, I mean, we built that and they came. And it's hard to get, to please everybody and have everybody play with that amount of people and the excitement that goes around.
No doubt.
I mean, like I said, I mean, there's certain ways of looking at that. I mean, when I was talking about it before to other people, I mean, we don't have an administrator or somebody that's in court security.
All right.
When you move, lose when you leave, when you split, there's all kinds of options, but those have to be supervised by somebody.
Yeah, and enforced.
And enforced, and that's again, it's a public facility that everybody has to try to abide by.
Work with.
And play with.
And there's a pickleball etiquette, and I don't know what that is. A lot of our general public doesn't know. If you go up to courts and play basketball, everybody knows what, the guy calls winners next game, got next game.
Yeah.
But there's some things that we all need to learn in pickleball, and I think we're trying to do that and move along and keep it as active as we possibly can, so.
Keaton, you know, it's funny, you stepped up here tonight because we had this exact same conversation at the dinner table last night. because I've noticed what you just explained happening. And my teenage granddaughter from Yorktown spoke up and said, well, that has become our hangout. See, that's where everybody's going to meet and, you know, and plan the evenings. I said, well, do you play pickleball? Well, about half of us do. The others
Right.
are just there to hang out. So I feel your frustration.
Yeah.
I really do. But I do think, like Aaron said, it will, I think organically it will work out where everybody will understand, you know.
I mean, like you said, to start off, let's call that back. I mean, there is so many worse things. I mean, we talked about that about the skate park. There's so many worse things that these kids could be doing. So, worst case
For sure.
scenario, you just need to let them know that you're one of the top netters in Newcastle history, and that should
Blame me for it.
Well, I don't know how you call next game in pickleball, but somebody's gonna teach us.
It's pretty similar. It's the same, you know, the same ordeal, but yeah, I guess that's what I'll leave off with. I still would love one night a week. I'm gonna keep throwing that out there because I don't think Monday night, I don't think is, you know, too much to ask for the core group. There's an app called Team Reach, and if we teach the kids, I know every one of them could use an iPhone. There's a Team Reach app. That's how you organize, you know, your signing up and who's coming, who's going. You know, I think one night would be awesome for that. I'm gonna keep throwing it out there. Monday nights, not Saturday nights. Saturday nights they can have their hangout. You know, but just think about it, I guess.
Go to
Well, I would say-
park board meeting. Park board
Well,
meeting.
I'd say
board meeting.
talk to Mr. Bergman about it.
All right.
Everything they all say. Park board
You got
meeting.
plans after this,
Got
Mr.
more
Berg?
authority than we do.
And he'll have some time for you. I'm sure he'll have some time for you sometime.
Yeah, all right. I appreciate all you guys' time.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thank
yep,
you.
appreciate it.
Anyone else?
We need to educate.
Good evening.
Hi.
I ain't 60 yet, but I gotta have these. So, Tony Young, member Local 1722. I'm here tonight on behalf of the local. Tonight, we're asking the city to help us fund our cancer screenings. For the past 2 years, the locals paid for it from the golf outing money because we believe that early detection is the key to survival in this. Cancer is becoming the #1 killer of firefighters in the country now. It used to be cardiac, it's becoming cancer now. We have it scheduled for August. It's going to be roughly, for all 32 members, it's going to be roughly around $11,000. So we're here tonight to ask if the city could fund that this year, become partners with us, maybe start budgeting it next year or the next year.
Didn't we pay for that last year? I feel like we
I
talked
thought we
about this
put-
prior
did we put
years.
some money toward that
No,
last year?
We've paid it both 2 years, for 2 years.
Now, is that something we could do from Lowell?
You'd have to ask Joel.
I mean, I think you probably could, it'd be considered a fringe benefit of
I mean,
employment.
it could be considered part of our physicals every year.
Good with that.
We need a motion for that?
What, can trustee put anything towards that, or is that?
I'm sure he could. I haven't went to him yet.
Well, I'll speak
Go
on
ahead.
behalf of trustee Fields. So, we're in need of some equipment, and the trustee has dedicated most, if not all, of what discretionary spending they have for fire protection on that at this point. So, in about $600,000. So, you know, if you folks aren't interested in doing, I didn't know you were coming up to
Yeah.
this. Because we can talk about doing it out of a non-reverting fund. In the past, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
So, we can talk about doing that. I think that's something that the council doesn't.
How much you have in your non-reverting?
Currently, the fund I would use it out of has about 60 or 70,000.
Well, we need, I think we need to get it done.
We don't need a decision
Yeah.
tonight. I mean,
Right.
but
We need to get
we
it.
need to figure out where the money could come from.
One way or another, I think.
Well, you want me to get with Chief
I think,
Moore and talk it over with him, and we can see what we want
Yeah.
to maybe do.
Yeah, and then you
Low it
propose
and-
something next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
That would be
Chief?
fine, I just think going to the trustee and asking for additional funds at this time, probably
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
Is that all right with you, Tony? We'll talk about it. I'll talk to
Yeah.
the chief about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
I
give it-
think
Because we
it's
have
a good
until
idea.
August, right? Tony?
Yeah, it's already scheduled, we just gotta get hung up to.
I don't think it's an issue. I just-
Yeah.
Needs to be done.
Needs to be done.
If he's got the non-reverting, I mean, that's city money, so that would
So
make
we'll
more
figure-
sense than taking it out of Riverboat. Do we need a motion to move forward with it, or we just?
No, I'll talk to the chief and we'll get something by next meeting.
Okay. Corey, you wanna talk about golf now, since we're talking about this?
My name is Corey Clemens, Battalion Chief with Newcastle Fire Department. This weekend's our golf outing. It's our 10th annual golf outing. It's been a huge success since we started it. It's grown every year. We have 20 teams of 6 participants on each team. This year, we've had to cut down on the golf cart rentals because they're outrageous. So it's freed up a lot of money, extra spending for firefighter health and wellness. That's what our money has gone for the past 3 years. This year, in particular, we have voted on as a union board, or a union group, that we spend that money in our charitable fund. So it's going to benefit us as a union, and it's going to go to the Shank family for their battles with their son and cancer. So that's why I think Tony was asking the council for a little bit of help with the cancer screenings, because that money is going to be dedicated to the Shank family this year. So yeah, if you can, come out. I know several of you have sponsored in the past, and money is very tight, and we ask for sponsors every year too. I hate asking for money every year, the same people.
You don't seem to have a sad face when you ask me for money.
I try to be upbeat when I'm walking through the hallway, so, yeah.
So, do you play in full gear and walk?
I hope not. No. It may not be a bad weekend for that. We'll get Chief Schofield to play in his full gear.
Sure.
To handicap him a little bit.
He'd still probably beat all of them.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, if you can come out this Saturday, registration's at 8 o'clock. We shotgun every team off at 9 o'clock. So yeah, if you can come out, support the local fire department, local 1722, it'd be great.
Where is it?
Thank you.
Is it at?
It's at Memorial Park Golf Course, yep.
Anyone else wishing to come forward? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to Mr. Guffey with committee report.
Yeah, one thing, I had a citizen approach me about potholes within the cemetery, the roads. He said there was horrible some places. I did a go and see, I agree with him. Can we try to get them?
Sure can.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you, that's all
Mr.
I have.
Walden?
I have nothing.
Mr. Dickon?
Yeah, after last couple meetings, I mean, I was just thinking about what our, as I'm sure all of you have, about what our future looks like, specifically like the next 2 to 5 years. I know sometimes when we ask questions at these meetings, they can be taken a certain way, and I want to preface these questions by saying, they're not. They're just really because this is where my head's at, and I want to publicize that and put it out there for you guys too. I don't need any answers tonight, just want to get us all thinking so that, there's some more formal information thrown around, but have been thinking, with SB1 and whatnot, what our financial plan looks like the next 2 to 5 years. I know we were talking about selling assets, and they've done that. It seems like we're working lean because the budget's been in pretty decent shape. But basically, I'm bringing this all up because increasing rates, I know everything's increasing, and that just is the organic thing that happens over time. But having an older community on fixed incomes, et cetera, I think we've got to try to make sure that we're doing everything we can before that line so that that is our last resort instead of being our first resort.
So that's what I wanted to express tonight on that. So think about that. If there can be an email or report in the near future, that'd be great. And then if we can get a riverboat balance, I don't need it as immediate as I thought I was going to at this meeting, but that would be good just to have an idea, because I know you guys are all having the same conversations I am in terms of like, hey, no real special projects, because we might need that for something, more substantial in terms of city expenses. But other than that, I just wanted to publicly recognize some people over the last month that have put Newcastle in a good light. Cooper Cook was on, I don't know if we talked about him at one of the past meetings, but he was a national participant for the Elks Hoop Shoot. He's a Westwood, I think, incoming fourth grader. To go to the national level for the Elks Hoop Shoot's pretty cool. Sarah Shore Beck, Dr. Sarah Shore Beck, she's a 2001 graduate, had a pretty scary, should have been life-ending accident last year. Miracle details, you can read about it probably online, but she was the IU health representative at the Indy 500 and delivered the green flag to Brendan Fraser at the race. So that was pretty cool opportunity for her. I saw that Peyton Plank recently graduated West Point. Kudos to her. And then congratulations to the class of 2026 on their graduation. The ones that I've talked to, I try to stress not to forget to come home because, not a recent grad anymore, but I just get excited when people move back home and raise their families here for all the same reason we've decided to stick around, and also, like Caden, contribute back into the community. To see that come full circle is just such a cool thing. And this class, it seems like talented special class. I'm sure their next chapters are going to be beyond our imaginations, but I hope they remember to come back once in a while. So that's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Cody. Well, to talk with what you were talking about with finances and looking forward with Senate Bill 1, the huge, most glaring obstacle in this city's path is combining EMS with the fire department. I don't care what anybody tells you or speak different. That is the main goal and how to save money in this city. There's no other way to look to save money. That's the number one thing that this city needs to move forward on and towards, and it needs to be sooner rather than later, instead of sitting up there saying that this is going to be done or that's going to be done or we're going to worry about this or worry about that. If we get that done in a good amount of time, we won't have to worry about Senate Bill 1. Thank you. That's all I got.
Mr. Purdue?
I have nothing.
Had a great Memorial Day parade. It's always good. I had a young man visiting here from Indianapolis, my granddaughter's boyfriend, and he was amazed, not only at the Memorial Day parade, but just as we drove around Newcastle, he goes, this is a pretty nice place. And I think that sometimes because we live here, we don't always think it's as great a place as it really is. I drove him by the skate park and the pickleball courts and by Baker Park, and he drove, we went around different places in town. And he is like in charge of a culinary school in Indianapolis, but he was just amazed at our town and what our town has and how nice a place it is. And I just want to echo that. We we got our shortcomings, sure, but we live in this is a great place to live. I don't care what anybody says. So.
And the streets were cleaned up super quick after that parade, which seemed to be the messiest parade I think I remember. So kudos to your guys for sure.
All right. Turn it over to you.
Chief, you have anything this evening?
I do not.
Chief?
No.
Chief? I'd like to introduce, we have a new employee that runs the cemetery now. Mike Bray has been at the cemetery for quite a few years, and he now is director at the cemetery, so introduce Matt tonight. Nothing on the agenda, but it's quite a long meeting for your first meeting, so welcome aboard. Anything, Dave? Council?
I don't have anything else.
Ash?
Yeah, Riverboat's doing pretty good, Aaron. However, allocated for the rest of the year, it's about 35,000 is what's left.
It's after earmarks.
Yes, and then Mayor and I are trying to stay ahead of the game. We're in lots of trainings about Senate Bill 1, and we will know more probably this time next week how it affects us in 26.
27.
No, 26. They told us, yeah, 26. We'll
There's going to be a shortfall this year.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we knew that.
Yeah, but we'll know how.
Changes every other day.
Circuit breakers are the best thing ever. Anything else, Ash?
Nope, that's it.
Kenny? Greg? Lee? Motion for adjournment.